Okay, so for this week, we're gonna make some dice. I have a pack of 36 of these little wood cubes that I got at the Dollar Tree. So we're gonna turn them into dice, and I want to make symbolic dice. So I have 5 categories that are gonna be different colors. They're based off of this colored card. So for silver, we're gonna have 5. There's 24 dice that all 36 technically have something to be made for, but I'm not making all of them this episode either, but I have 24 designs for the dice with enough patterns for them. I have this whole sheet that I came up with of stuff, so we got a lot to work off of. So for silver though, it's gonna be some like tool kind of things, mystic elements. So we have like ghost, fury, muses, that kind of stuff. And then 3 of them are gonna be just numbered dice, 1 through 6. For black, it's gonna be they're called, where did I write it? The Futak runes. They're Norse runes, so those are gonna be that. There's 24 symbols there, so that's 4 dice that will be the runes in black. The dark blue is gonna be the zodiac. So we're gonna have the astrology signs, 2 dice, planets, 2 dice, and houses, 2 dice. The only thing here is that it means that I either have to pick one of the 6, like since only 6 are on each one, since I'm not doing 12-sided dice, I have to pick one of the 2, or there's just 2 acting at the same time, which either is fine. And then the chocolate is going to be Minecraft symbols, which I thought was kind of fun. So we got like rare items in the game. Not rare, but like one is going to be like resources. Another is going to be like more redstone-y kind of creation stuff. I have 18, so there's 3 different dice for the Minecraft category. And then the last one is animals/nature. So there's gonna be 5 here. Oh, there's actually one more after that. Oops. But this is it's not part of the color makeup. There's 4 animal ones and 1 nature one with like tree, rainbow, cloud kind of idea for the nature stuff. And then the last one is going to be the one chaotically creating dice, where it has like the main elements of the channel, plus the Pokemon ball, which is not part, but it is part. But I have a logo designed for the channel eventually to get rebranded with, but I'm going to wait for a while. And there is a puzzle piece, paint palette, book, music note, D20, and then we're gonna do the Pokemon ball on that. And then each side will be a different color for that one to represent the different elements of it. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So let's, I think I'm gonna open it and just get the paint mixed and paint them, the ones that I want, because then the extra are probably gonna go to the magician's hat from last week's video. They're gonna go scattered around there, and I'm not sure what colors they'll be yet for that. They'll probably be just something completely different, and those ones would be specifically numbered dice if I was to do that, which I think I probably will. I don't know. I feel like this is gonna take a lot longer than I think it will, and I'm trying to take this week a little bit easier and do something a little bit simpler, but of course I've already made it something grand, so. All right, so we start off by opening up the dice, and then I end up playing with them for a bit just to kind of see what it was like to roll all of them. But I then kind of separate them out with what category they're all in. But the different designs you can make with dice is something that just intrigues me so much, and I think is so fun. I would love to make resin dice at some point with like actually D20 or like Dungeons and Dragons style, like the full set of all the different types. But I don't have a mold for the dice yet, so I haven't done that yet. And I'm still getting really used to resin. It's something that I've just explored with UV resin. The epoxy resin like kind of freaks me out just a little bit. I don't know why, like it's not that bad, but for some reason I'm just a bit scared of it. And I think it's just because like I don't have a lot of it, so I want to like make the right amount. But what I did last time worked really well. So I put the water in the mold and then measured out the water separate to find out how much resin I needed. So pro tip there. But I have always enjoyed games and the story that you can create with them. I love that you can create the story, like influence it by the art style and the play style. There's just so much that actually goes into game design that we don't think about, that it would be cool to design a game for sure. Maybe something from Book of Life, who knows? Probably. But I have a ton of games and I don't quite know what style I want to build one with, but I don't have a ton of people around in my life right now that like we can just call up right away and play a 3+ hour game. So it's a little bit hard to play them right now at the moment, but. So slight change, addition, what have you, I don't know. But so I painted the cubes, all of this is 24 of them. But I got a set of 36 with this, and so I was gonna make, oh, that's 23 actually. I was gonna make 24 for this video and then save the other ones for just, they're gonna go for the hat. But what I realized, I didn't do the singular one, which the 24th one was gonna be a chaotically creating one specifically, but 6 times 13 perfectly equals 78. So I was like, there are 78 tarot cards. I could make tarot dice for the whole set, which I think would be really cool. So that's what I did. So you saw a clip, or you will see a clip. There is a clip of me creating the symbols for them. But yeah, so these are the 13 dice we have left. I did, so I have the color cubes from Sarah Renee on YouTube. And they're these cards that have 5 to 6 colors on them with like a palette, and there's a picture on them. And so this morning I was drawn to draw them, draw a couple of them, and I used them kind of like to create physical like representations of stuff so I can like visually see it. And so this morning I pulled these in intent to use them to determine what color dice they would be. I did the same thing for the other set, the 23 of them, and we pulled, oh gosh, this color 149, so they're all kind of variations of it. But then, so this morning I was doing it, and so the first card we pulled was this one. And I'm drawn to this card, this color right here, the ash. Oh, that's not where it is on there. It's the ash gray, this one down here. I'm drawn to that color out of all of them, but a little bit of a lighter version of it. So this is the first card. We have a cat. The second card, we have a cat with a door. And I was drawn to this green and this one down here. So far we have the three colors there. And so it didn't feel quite finished, so I had to draw another card. And we get our third cat. Keep in mind, there are 500 cards. And we get 3 cats in a row. So the one card here I was drawn to was this yellow. So yellow is gonna be one of them. And then it didn't quite feel finished yet. So I drew the final card, and this was for the major arcana, which is this blue. We didn't get a fourth cat, but 4 is often 3 in 1. And like, if you think of glasses on the beach and sunglasses, which they're like to shade, I don't know. I feel like there's definitely some symbolism there. But yeah, so the colors are, oh, what book did I put that in? I think I put it in this one. I have too many journals filled with too many things that I reference. Okay, so the ash gray, which is from our first one here, it's this one, is gonna represent the cups. I think that's because it kind of has a little bit of a bluey tint to it. So that's the cups. The wands, which is a little odd, but it works when you figure out how to connect it, I guess, is going to be the artichoke, which is a green, which originally, that was a lot of witches in a sentence, I'm so sorry. I was a little confused at how like green could relate to wands because it's like fire, but this is where I use ChatGPT, and I'll be honest about this, is like, okay, so this green I know is right, that it needs to match wands, because it felt that was the right situation. So I asked it, and I was like, so how does wands, the suit of wands correspond, like how can I connect that and create meaning behind that in relationship to artichoke? And let's see, where is it? So for wands, it's inspiration, creativity, passion, life force energy, willpower, and initiation. So it's like that fiery passion, the spark, the growth. But it's like not all fire is blazing red orange. In mature, stabilized, it can become subtler, the ember, the forge glow, or the hearth flame. So then we have the artichoke, which is earthly resistant, tempered energy, cultivated passion, hidden tenderness, and outer armor, protecting an inner heart, and organic transformation. It's a living green that's touched by gray, meaning it's seasoned, aged, and wise. So it could, like, instead of it being that impulse burning intensity, or that is what wands represents, but the artichoke represents mature, grounded willpower, the kind of fire that's been integrated into form. So it's more fire that it's practical fire, a sustainable drive rather than a burst of chaos. So it's keeper of the flame. So it's like cultivating the flame and letting it grow, and that greenery associated with growth, which I really think that's cool, that it was like, oh wait, actually you can connect it. And so that's how I use ChatGPT more, is like, these are two completely like thrown out there concepts that I like am now wanting to connect. How can I connect them? Because they both have, everything has its own symbolism if you just like figure out how to think of it in a different way, I guess. So that's the artichoke, which is the wands. And then the other color on here was the taupe, or yeah, taupe, I think that's how you say it. But that's this one down here. And that's gonna represent the swords. I think it's because it gives me a little bit of purple. I don't know if it's gonna pick up on camera, but it gives me a little bit of purple vibes. And swords are purple in my steampunk deck. So that was that one. And then we have the marigold, which is pentacles, which is pretty, I feel like that one's pretty self-explanatory, like the yellow abundance of just joy of money feels, I guess green would also work for that, but yellow is also what is the pentacles in my steampunk deck, so it works. And then the major arcana, whatever you want to call it, is this blue, which is a mint gray. So now I get to pick out the paint color tube things, and these ones I'm probably gonna have to mix because I don't think I have ones that are close enough to this color that are also distinct enough from the other ones. So yeah, we're gonna go pick those out now. Okay, so now I'm gonna show how I like got the colors, because these ones don't have direct correlations from the set with the paint set that I have. So for our first one, we have the marigold, which is gonna be a combination of the white, this like tanny color kind of thing, it doesn't show up quite right on camera, and this yellow. I don't know how they're gonna mix together, but this has like darker yellow that's not so bright. So we need that brown that's gonna dilute it in like the saturation of it, I think. Yeah, so then we have this one, which is kind of a greeny blue gray. So I'm gonna combine, yeah, I think it's this green, this blue, this green, and then this gray, and we'll see what it works. You have to do, like, the ratio is like what really matters. So for this trio, there's gonna be a lot more gray and a little bit of these two to create more of that green. And then for this one, there's probably gonna be a little white to dilute this down, but then there's gonna be a lot of the yellow. So I'll show maybe the mixing process on this one actually. And then we have this one, which we have this green, which we're gonna do pretty much this one with a little bit of gray, I think I said, to dilute it just a little bit. It might need a little bit of a blue tint, because it is a little bit more bluey green than yellowy green. And then this one looks like a purpley tan gray kind of. So we're gonna combine, the blue, there's still one more, okay. So we got this purple, this like tan, and then we'll use the gray as the main color again. And then the last one, we have this blue, which is gonna be this one with maybe a little gray mixed into it. So yeah, that's the paint situation. And then I also got these, which we're gonna test these out, but it's metallic paint markers so that I can label them better, and they're thinner. I already had paint markers, I have the Posca pens, but the ones I have are really thick and they're not gonna be thin enough for me to create logos that are decent size. So I wanna test these out too. So we'll do that next. All right, so here I test out these paint pens. I really like the metallic colors, and they'll be useful for other stuff too, because I use the Posca pens like all the time for like final details, titles, and all kinds of stuff like that. I have a gold, and that was it, and it was too big for the dice, so that's why I went and got smaller ones. But so after I test the markers, I paint out swatches for each of the colors, so you can see it here now, and then I put like each of the markers on top of them because I wanted to see what color would show up the best for them. For these 5, I do different colors for each, but for the tarot ones, I do the same color for all of them. But so for the Norse, we start out with these, and there are 24 runes with 4 dice, and they're alphabet script that contain layers of meaning and power to them, and they are believed to access hidden realms of spiritual wisdom. They come from the Old Norse word meaning secret letter. And when you think of runes, this is typically what you think of. But it's based off of like Odin, and he gained all the knowledge from hanging from Jagistal for 9 days and 9 nights. And so it's through the self-sacrifice he's able to unlock the runes. So then we have the astrology dice, which I kind of wish these were 12-sided dice instead, so that I only had 1 dice for them each. But it's fine that there's 6. There's 2 dice for it. But I have the signs, which is our zodiac signs, and then the 12 planets, and then the ruling sign, which also, or the house with its ruling sign, because the different energy of the natural energy of that house impacts what the energy will be like in combination with what you bring based off your chart. So, and then for Book of Life, astrology is a big factor in just the mechanics of the world. So then we have the silver, just the 3 numbers, which what I want to do with these often is roll 3 dice and then result in a 3-digit number, and then do numerology, which is bringing it down by adding them all up to its simplest number, which is 1 through 9. Technically 10 still counts, and then 11, 22 do, like, as like angel numbers, I think, technically, yeah. But the number that is associated with it has like deeper meaning if you look at the Tree of Life, the Caliban. So yeah, you can look that up if you want. It's a really cool connection with tarot too. So, and then I did them in pencil first, just because I didn't want to mess up, and then go back and do it in marker. So yeah, that's what that was about. Now we're going through and making all the symbols for the tarot deck. So we start out with the Fool with the jester hat. Then we got the Magician with like some sparkly magic. The Empress. I always get these ones mixed up. No, the High Priestess is the psychic fortune ball. That was the high priestess. So then this is the empress, which is like nurturing, care, like cultivating. So it's a thing of wheat. Then we have the emperor, which is the eagle for like authority, ruling, kind of that aspect. The hierophant, which is also sometimes the high priest. It is that in my tarot deck, but often it is pictured with a key. So it's a key. Lovers, heart, justice, the scales, hermit, a book for like representing knowledge, the wheel of fortune, a trophy in a circle, strength, the lion, which is also often pictured on strength. And this one can be mixed with justice. So sometimes this one's 8, sometimes this one's 11. Hangman, so it's the iconic hangman pose of him being upside down with his leg like kind of tilted. So it's just a little stick figure. Death, the skull. Temperance, which is like peace, so it's the peace sign. The devil, the like skull, devil, horned thing. The tower, just a box, a rectangle with some lines in it. Star, a star. Moon, sun. Judgment is a trumpet because it's often the trumpet call. And then the world is like an earth. And then we do the court card symbols. So the page is like a gear for like the beginnings, turning, making it work, figuring it out. Knight is a shield. Queen is a crown with a heart in it. And then king is a crown with the cross on top. And then we have the 4 suit symbols, which is just kind of a stick for the wands, a cup for cups, a pentacle is a star with a circle around it, because that's what my Into the Unknown deck does, and then sword is a sword. So that's those. I had mentioned in the beginning how I wanted to take it easier this week, but I end up always making things like way grander than they need to be, which is true. I with changing the idea to work on the tarot cards instead, because I wanted to have them for the Witch's Ball, I end up not making all 36 because that changed a lot of the time. So I don't make the Minecraft ones, the Mystic Silver one, or the Nature ones. But I also kind of want to get another set and make more, because I would love to have more Nature ones, and even some more in Minecraft, just with how many different items there are in the game. Could be cool to do some blocks to create a block palette and build something out of it in Minecraft. I don't know, that would be a cool idea. But I have all of these expectations of myself, and I think that's where a lot of this pressure for this week has come in just the last few weeks of since starting working on YouTube a lot. But I already have all of these daily tasks I do, where for October, I've been participating in Inktober. We'll get that video next week, probably. I have been doing Duolingo. I have a 450 some day streak on that. Learning Japanese for that. So that's another daily task. And then recently, I started doing this daily analysis of each tarot card. And it takes a while to do. And I wanted to do 2 of them a day. But I take the 5 of Wands, so we have 4 cards before that one. I am going to compare the 5 of Wands then to the 4 of Wands in both the 4 positions. So with both them upright, with one upright, one upside down, both upside down, and then the other upright and the other upside down, whichever wasn't done the first time. And so that's 4 pairings with just the 4 of Wands, 5 of Wands. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the 3 of Wands, and then so forth, and keep going until I reach the Ace of Wands, which will be the last. And as soon as you start, there are 78 cards in a tarot deck. So I have made it, at the time of recording this, I'm working on the Page of Cups right now. So it's getting to be a lot, but it's still the very beginning. There are 4 suits and then 22 major arcana, so it's going to be a while. But I wanted to do 2 of these, and I was putting all this extra pressure on myself because I have a library book that I checked out, and I was I need to get it done before the library book is due. But it's no, chill. you're the only one putting this extra pressure on yourself. No one else is like holding you to this standard. Like, why are you doing this and making yourself so stressed? And I feel like sometimes when I make something easy, it's not, like, it isn't allowed almost. Like, it has to be this big, grand idea, and it doesn't. It doesn't need to be that big. The principal idea is it should be fun, and that, like, it's not to say that making these videos hasn't been fun, because it's been so much fun. I enjoy it so much, and just being able to see all the products of creation that I've made is just, I love it. But I need to find this balance of just right and too much. Not only have I been putting all this, like, personal pressure on myself, where I'm creating all these simple daily tasks, and they start to add up, but I feel like I have the right, like, to earn the right to relax. So I feel like I need to constantly be moving and doing something that's, like, productive, and almost trying to find meaning without external pressure. And this has kind of left me in constant survival mode, and feeling like I have to accomplish right now everything, because I won't, like, almost live long enough to do it. Like, I don't know. It's kind of morbid a little bit, but I think also a lot of this is from just, I graduated in May of 2025, and it's now, well, as I'm recording this voiceover, it's November 1st, 2025. So I'm still, like, getting used to, like, this new phase of life, and finally kind of feel like I'm finding what this phase of life looks like. But that doesn't mean that this constant going and pushing to the next thing, and having no time really to process what you've done, almost seeking this busy life, has gone away. And that's just the way it is in college, is that you're constantly, you finish one project, you're on to the next. And it's like, every class is like this, where it's just constant pressure. There's so much, like grades are part of it, maintaining this, like, structure, and then having to do work with it, and then also having a social life, and then also being in band and ensembles. It's constant. And, well, on the other hand, though, I absolutely loved the environment, and being able to have the learning and deeper discussion, and actual, like, grades suck, and they're not accurate to what you actually know or your intelligence, but, like, having the feedback was what I really valued. So I wanted to show and share my top favorite games, since we're kind of making this episode about games and pressure and external whatever. But so probably my top favorite game is Magic the Gathering, trading card game. There's just so much to discover with it, and, like, the art, and just I enjoy it that they're now going into these, like, other dimensions and creating, like, the Lord of the Rings, the Doctor Who, like, now the Spider-Man one is recently published. Like, I think it's fun because I love some of these characters, but I really like building decks. I have one that I built. It's with Mura Trash Tactician as the commander, which is a raccoon. And so the deck, like, story is, like, what can the raccoons dig out of the trash now? And it's a green-red deck, and the biggest mechanic is expend, which is about spending a certain amount of mana to get benefits. So for this one, if you spend 4 mana, you get 3 life, and then if you spend 8 mana, you get the next 2 cards in your library, and you can play them until the end of your next turn. So it's like, you need to build up a lot of mana so that you can spend these cards, but it's like, what are the trash pandas going to dig up next? So it could be anywhere from a 10/10 dinosaur to just a little bit of poison that they find. So it's got so many different, like, random mechanics kind of thrown in there, because it's like, what are they going to dig up next? I don't know. I had a lot of fun making it, and I definitely want to make more. But next up in top 5 games is going to be, I put these to the same because they're the same game mostly, but different enough. So we have Wingspan and Wormspan. If I had to pick between the two, I would much rather play Wormspan, just because I like dragons more. But these games are about collecting different types of birds or dragons, depending on which one you play, that have certain benefits or mechanics. So, like, one is, like, eggs gets you victory points. There's certain objectives. It's played in 4 rounds. There's certain objectives for each round. So one is to, like, get
so many eggs. It's very cool because they have like actual like facts that are accurate to the birds on there. Dragon's a little different, but like the wingspan of the birds, the like environment it kind of lives in, and just like little facts about it. And the art is absolutely beautiful for this game. So yeah, that's kind of, the art is a big sell on that one. But it's also really fun. It is a game that takes a lot more to set up, so that is kind of the annoying thing, and it takes a lot to learn it. But once you get like past the first round, like you pretty much got it. So the next one is Mysterium, a co-op game of using cards with just pictures on them, as one player can't talk and is considered the ghost that knows who the murderer is, and they use the cards to communicate with the paranormal investigators through the symbolism of the card. So it's really fun because they can't talk, and so everyone's going to interpret the card differently, and each person has like their own investigative trio of cards. It's very much like Clue, but now you have the symbolism, and there's however many people you have playing, and you can have a lot of people playing this game. It's a lot of fun when you have a lot of people playing it. So next up would be Splendor, which is a game of collecting gems and then buying more gems to be able to afford higher costing gems and that have victory points associated with them. The first person to 15 victory points wins. What I really like about this game is that it's really easy for pretty much anybody to like learn how to play it. There's been so many copies of this one sold, and then it doesn't take a lot to set up, and it's fun. It's fast paced, it's fun, it's easy to understand, and it's a classic that I would go back to in college. So, and then I believe this is 5 now. The last one would be Tiny Towns, which it's also an easier game to learn and still has a lot of strategy to it, which is what I really like, where it's not something that's just easy because it's not very complicated or boring. But this one takes a 4x4 grid that you put Tetris-like shapes on them, and once you complete the shape, you get to replace it one of those squares with a building, and the object is to get the whole board filled. And each of the buildings, there's like 7 or 8 different types of buildings or shapes that you can make that give you different victory points and such. So those are my top 5 games. I'll show some pictures of some of the stuff in here too, because I think it was, I don't know, I just love to see the art, and so I want to show you guys the art in there too for it if you have never seen the games. So
Alright, and now we have reached the major arcana. We're going back and adding I like let them dry. So I do like 3 sides at a time, and then I let them dry, and then I do the rest of it. So we're kind of in a mix, I guess. But we're also nearing the end of the video, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to like, subscribe, share, all of the things. It helps the channel grow. And I really want to continue to do this and put forth effort into it, and it really helps to know that people are enjoying it. But I don't know, I just want to leave you guys with just learn to take a moment in your day-to-day life of just letting yourself be and not have to have all these worries about everything. They're not going to go away. We can't just, if we could make them all disappear in an instance like that, that would be whatever. But just allow yourself to be and give yourself just a little bit more grace and take off some of that personal pressure, because you don't need it, and you're the one carrying it, and it's not serving you. It's not helping anybody else. It's making it worse for you and quite a lot. And I think we think that there's a lot that isn't in our control, but it really is a lot more than you think it is. It's just you have to actually accept what you don't want to accept sometimes with it. So okay, and I'm gonna leave you guys with a little bit of a challenge to connect back with your creative self. That I want you to try drawing your favorite game, or just a little icon of some sort, from a game or whatever comes to mind. Favorite, just something little. And it's really important while you do this to not
put judgment on yourself on whatever comes to mind or however it ends up turning out. I don't know. I just like to think of it as like a cute little doodle. Like it doesn't necessarily, it's not meant to have this huge, like, grand thing. But even if you take a symbol that you resonated with today from when I drew and you draw it yourself, you made something that day. You made something creative that wasn't already in the world, and you made it. But as always, stay creative, stay chaotic, and I love you guys.